Thank you for joining us for the Northern Kentucky Votes Primary 2018.
Sure. Yeah, this Nicholson one, I mean, as you can see, Darrell Link, well known in Grand County, but Susan Back is a counselor at Simon Kenton. So it's not too much of a surprise that she would be in the lead in this particular precinct.
Michelle Williams is doing well. Flash is doing, this is I think what we expected in November of 16. Everybody thought that that was going to be the year he would make an impact.
Welcome today to Kenton County Today, the whole your office and how it came to be.
Sure. Well, I think we all understand the issue, that we really do have a serious opiate and heroin addiction issue here in Northern Kentucky.
So I was at a session yesterday about the heroin epidemic and heard from a sergeant in Jeffersontown and the city of Alexandria, and they were both excellent speakers, just urging cities to do something about the heroin epidemic.
I want to encourage all voters to check their voter information at the Voter Information Center, or as we like to call it, the VIC. You can access the VIC at elect.ky.gov.
You know, I think it may help, but ultimately what we have to do is change the federal policy where people are being kept in humane situation, quickly adjudicated, and allowed to reunite back with their family where they came.
If you ever want to look at it, just go to Link GIS and you'll get a great vision of it.
You can overlay that map with other views that include water lines, floodplains, property lines, and other data that lets you see how they all interact.
Tell us what's going on with those projects.
Well, as you're all probably aware right now, River House is in active development. We have a lot going on over there. They are in high gear now that the weather is starting to cooperate with them at this point.
The other thing that I would say is this. In addition to the fact that we're going to go to level dollar funding, this going to a defined contribution plan for new employees will afford people a flexibility and a portability that, frankly, younger employees want and need.
You know, on a very personal level, I was proud that after 5 years of trying, the General Assembly finally passed a bill of mine to make legislative pensions completely transparent to the public. Because there's no bigger problem confronting the Commonwealth of Kentucky than the status of our pension systems. And the first thing we have to do as leaders is show what cards each of us might have on the table, what we stand to gain, what we stand to lose.
And that's why today I'm announcing a proposal aimed at cutting through the roadblocks and rebuilding this bridge.
Have an idea for a new business? Register now with NKCAC's small business program, Rekindle.
That parents are saying, what a neat idea. What a great afternoon or morning we spent outside, in the park, in the woods, in the winter. We got to see something that you might not get to see again.
They go hand in glove. Our education continuum is a 12-week program that focuses on the 5 pillars of life: physical, emotional, relational, spiritual, and financial.
The worst thing for anybody is to ever really be alone. You think too much. So my door's open, and I don't sleep a lot at night. So you got your night watchman. If you forget and leave your garage door up, I'll shoot you a text.
I am excited that the Women's Initiative chose this speaker because I think it matches how Northern Kentucky is evolving into this kind of dreamer, entrepreneurial, more spirit, and to support women like us that want to follow our passions.
Hi, I'm Mina. And I'm Karen. We're from HGTV's Good Bones, and we know that every house needs a good foundation.
And every community also needs a good foundation, and that's where your local library comes in.
That report says those of us served by the public mental health system are dying on an average 25 years prematurely.
If it wasn't for here, GCB, my doctors, who knows?
What you wanna do? Oh, now lose
A centerpiece of the city of Cincinnati, the John A. Roebling Suspension Bridge has stood for more than 150 years.
Back in 1867, when the bridge first opened, that had to be one of the most unique feelings for people crossing the bridge at that time. For a lot of these folks coming out of eastern Kentucky, from Tennessee, coming up north to try to make a living, and when they first spotted this bridge, and for these folks to see this, it was like nothing they had ever experienced in their life.
Of all the cities that make up northern Kentucky, it's the river towns that have the longest, most fascinating histories. Newport and Covington probably come to mind for most of us first, but there is another river town with a great and fascinating history. It has homes, magnificent homes dating back almost 200 years. It had a turn of the 20th century amusement park, and still to this day it has a great small town atmosphere that some might compare to Mayberry. With its 150th anniversary on our minds, let's take a nostalgic trip down memory lane here in Ludlow. on Discover Northern Kentucky.
It had state-of-the-art amusement rides, roller coasters, Ferris wheels, panoramas, cycloramas.
And it was a source of pride. It was a huge source of pride for the people who lived here, that they lived in a town that had something so amazing.
It's something that's always been part of my imagination and something I've always thought about and wished that I could have experienced.
Everyone who comes into this sacred space, which is so splendid, as a sort of a, it's not a museum, but it's a place where we're in touch with the arts of the ages, as it were.
So those two families played a very important role in the building of this building. If you look at the early history of the Catholic Church, the first diocese was in Baltimore. And it covered all the English-speaking colonies, so it was a huge diocese.
And we had a lot of black pioneers in aviation. Chauncey Spencer happened to be a mentor of mine, and he was influential in a lot of things in my life. Chauncey died in June 3 years ago.
Federal Park was built in a mere 24 days, a testament to the will, determination, and pride of the people of Covington, Kentucky. Ball players from all ranks of baseball descended on Crows Park in Price Hill to try out for the Blue Sox. The crowd spilled onto the field, cheering loudly with every Stars at bat and every excellent play in the field. The Cincinnati Daily Gazette.
Edgewood throws it into Scott. Oh, what happened there? And Pouncey with the dunk. Pass to the near side, complete. Still on his feet is Murray, and he gets out to the 20.
Nice job by Murray there. Getting down to the 21, picking up a couple of extra yards, but cost him a few extra seconds, and he stayed in bounds. The clock running now.
Shearer. Keeper up the middle. Touchdown! SK! The crowd erupts!
Thomas for Saints come from behind. Look at Devin Beasley. She said, forget the crutches, I'm good.
Check out the steal from Moss and then the pass. My.
62 points. NCAA scoring record. 62 points. And we were here to see it.
Patty uses it in our Celtic band to great effect, and it adds a dimension to the music that no other band that we know of has.
Welcome to Inside Kenton County Schools, your first stop for news for the Kenton County School District. I'm Evan Rogers.
And I'm Maddie Isles.
And I'm going to pass it to Maddie for our first story tonight.
Our first segment is the Gemini Fantasy League.
Well, I wanted to be a coach for the Fantasy League because I'm an extremely competitive person. My goal is to win every single time, every time I'm out there. So that's the main reason why, for sure.
I probably want to be on either Mr. Bryson's or Dr. O'Hara because I'm more connected with them than any other teacher here.
Absolutely a blast. You know, the fact that to be invited to join the Suits is an absolute privilege, and it's a blast anyway. But the fact that it's the 10th anniversary is even more so.
Hi, welcome to Rita's Rescues. I'm Rita, and I'm here today with Deb Howard from SAP. And I have my sidekick Pumpkin over there. She's stretched out on the couch.
There's something in the sky. It looked like a freaking alien ship. It hovered in. It came. I sound like I'm insane right now. I can't believe I'm saying this.
And at 10:30 p.m. on September the 24th, a resident of Franklin, Ohio, contacted Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to report a remarkable UFO seen in the sky near her Butler County home. A medical assistant. She and her 3 children spotted a strange pattern of huge green flashing lights.
What I am about to report to you is absolutely true.
Not much has ever been said that I played with 3 weeks with a traveling team at that time. It was Springfield Sallies. And there was no stats on it or anything, so that's why it's never been really publicized, you know.
You know, it's kind of cool to be able to say I met Freddie Norman, who was, as a kid, was one of my idols.
Joe? He had pretty much success from the get-go when he came up with the Reds. The first year, didn't you beat Oral Hershiser?
I did. I got my very first major league hit off Oral Hershiser when I first got called up. I actually took a shutout into the 9th inning of my first big league start. You know.
What was the first of these feats that the pledges were required to complete?
It's the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, where you take a bucket of ice and dump it over your head.
Is that all it was?
That's what I assigned, but the pledges wanted to take it up a notch.
With 6 ballots, the prosecution, Dixie Heights.
Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes.
And they were all Cagney, Robinson, Muni.
Yeah.
All stage actors, respected stage actors, who when they got in front of that camera and they built these characters, they built an interesting character. And again, Cagney is just so charming, and he makes you laugh when he's about to kill somebody.